Sing it louder. From the back of every bar or the subway, on the streets or in your car, wherever you have found yourself, scream out your battle cry. I'm all in.
Yeah! One play at a time, boys. One play at a time. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing.
All in. All in? I'm a fan of the Jets. I'm a fan of the Jets. The Jets. The Jets. Why this team? The Jets. Ah, the Jets! The Jets! The
Greetings to all. Welcome to 2022. Omicron is on the run, and away it went. But oops, there goes gravity, and here comes a new variant. Omaha, Corona, Hut 1, Hut 2, nothing infects the Super Bowl, and nothing stops football.
Racism, greed, trauma to brain and spine. And yet, I cannot look away. Heroes are dead. Science has their heads. Oh, is there no escape from here?
If you're just joining the show, Dick Vitale will be found in Big Suey, but we've got upcoming guests as well. Carlos Boozer is going to join us, talk to him about renting his home to Prince and that disaster that was the Beijing dye on his head that didn't come out for 10 days. Also, John Jasso is going to join us, the former baseball player who just up and quit baseball because he wanted to sail around the world.
Yeah, it's JSO. That's a fine. $2. A big one.
Do you think Carlos Boozer looks at his calendar and is like, God damn it, LeBatard's going to ask me about the Beijing and Prince thing again?
Yes.
How many goddamn times do I have to do this show?
Yes.
And this guy asked me about these two things.
That's right. Well, I'm hoping to crack him. I'm trying to crack him
Sweet
open.
mercy.
He's got a non-disclosure agreement on the hair salon the purple hair salon that Prince allegedly put in the house he was renting.
NDA.
And he also has only talked once that I know of about the Beijing with us.
So we're hoping now we can get around the non-disclosure agreement, right?
There are other things to talk to
You're
him
persistent,
about.
Dan Le Batard. I'll give you that.
Like Pepsi.
That as well. Thank you, Billy, for that excellent contribution. It seems like you are here vigilantly on behalf of the sponsors recently. Thank you for doing that.
They pay the bills, you know what I mean?
They do very well. They pay the bills.
Keep the lights on.
Quite lucratively.
For Pablo.
I saw somebody who, well, there's the announcement.
Spoiler alert.
There is the announcement that we were going to make as a company that Billy just farted out.
It's in all the rags already. It's out there. It's all over the interwebs.
You're not on the dirt
We're
sheets.
we're last to report our own news.
Okay, so go ahead and report it then.
I don't know. Pablo's coming.
Thank you for treating that with the fanfare that it deserves. An accomplished journalist, a man with a resume with very little precedent at his age anywhere in the industry. Billy, an indifferent yawn.
Well, I haven't been able to read the article.
By way of announcement.
Yeah, find out what he's doing for us.
What is he doing for us?
Doesn't matter. It's a splash.
Okay, we got a
Smiling.
splash. Okay.
Smiling.
Wait,
That's
I
what I'm
just got
doing.
yelled at for saying the same thing.
Smiling while reading.
Now I'm really smiling.
Who yelled at you?
I don't know, man. Things are moving fast today. We're moving at a crazy pace.
Yeah,
Am I the only one?
Honey,
No.
let's get a bigger house.
You've got all my lips smiling.
Pablo Torre.
Wow.
The things are changing, Stugotz, in the media landscape. I've told you this before. Stephen A. Smith, when he says he is underpaid at whatever it is, $10 million a year with freedoms to have a production company.
Is right.
Well, he's correct, and we're the example for it because you leave ESPN and DraftKings has valued this thing at more than Stephen A. Smith is worth for ESPN. And many people, ESPN is kind of getting out of, we've seen this over the last couple of years, the Pablo business. Bomani Jones is exceptional at this. I can barely find him anywhere on ESPN. He's working for HBO more than he's working for ESPN because I don't know that it began with us. It probably began with Jamel and Michael, but they're getting out of the business of strong opinion voice journalists.
The black game? Getting out of the black game? What are you talking about?
Not just the black game. It's also the black game. It's not just the black game. Where Kendrick Perkins replaces his voice on your network, Bomani Jones and Jamel Hill, and Pablo now comes over to work for Meadowlark Media because all of this is changing. You've got Fox and ESPN competing for the same couple of shows doing the What are you guys laughing about?
What's
back
your
there?
dental plan?
The shipping container's getting a little tighter.
401k coming this Wednesday. The shipping container is getting a little tighter. Provided my 401k checks out.
Let's update our tournament here.
Meetings? I love meetings.
Always sounds like he's talking with a giant smile on his face, but only in the podcast form.
What do you mean? I'm not smiling.
Southeast Missouri State, Stugotz. It's a play-in game. I don't know why you're eyeing that.
We got a march.
It's just, thank you, Chris.
This
Cody.
month is so easy for him.
Is
he even here today?
He just makes noises.
Southeast Missouri State.
I think earlier in the show he said experienced guard play. I don't even know who he was talking about.
4 guards. I can't remember what team, though, but they start 4 guards.
Seniors.
Kennesaw State. Yeah. Abdur Rahim.
I'm onboarding with Hildy.
The only thing that Stugotz gave you as analysis contribution in March on Southeast Missouri State was, because it's all he knows.
I've said more than Greg Cody this entire segment.
And you know it.
I was just going to do that for you. You beat me to it.
Yeah.
Southeast Missouri State is I couldn't remember your catchphrase. I was trying to remember it. You beat me to it. Represented by?
Robin Lopez looked like the guy who sells homemade candles at the farmer's market.
Stupid show.
That I'm now a part of. Coming Wednesdays this fall.
Who they playing?
Texas A&M CC.
The Aggies.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
You threw it at CC. Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Zach Taylor looks like he's waiting for his waiter to come back so he can ask for a side of ketchup.
I can't stop saying this about Robin Lopez. If you were just walking close to sunset at night near the woods, and he emerged with a homemade candle, you would be so very scared.
Yes, you would.
7 feet and a mop of hair. I saw he was thrown into a game the other day just to get an offensive rebound late on a free throw with 3 seconds left. They just put him in basically to see if he can move like a falling building, somebody who was trying to box him out.
Brooke evolved. He did not.
That is correct. That is, I think it's still true, is it not, that they both together own and this is wonderful, the Lopez brothers own a property on the Disney World property.
I saw them once at Disney getting the VIP treatment. We're all getting walked around by someone, and I pulled my phone out to, of course, if it's what you do in that spot, take a video of them. And Robin did not he saw me videoing and threw his hand up at my video camera. Not today.
Wow.
Stugotz is still out here saying flatly that you cannot, just flatly, you can't go for it all with a quarterback who can't stay healthy. He is now officially the negative voice on what the Dolphins are doing. I haven't heard a whole lot of negative voices on what the Dolphins are doing, but he's saying if you're going to go with a quarterback who can't stay healthy, don't go for it all. Just go ahead and go 6-11 and don't go for it all.
No, I'm just saying it's hard to say we're in win now mode when you have a quarterback who can't stay healthy. That's all. They're making the right moves. They're making great moves. They have a great team. They have a talented team.
But if they're making the right moves,
quarterback's good. I just don't know if he can stay healthy.
But if they're making the right moves and they're making great moves, then they're doing the right thing. Period.
I guess you're right. But the exact right thing, if you want to go for it right now, would be to sign Tom Brady, and I'm being serious about that. Dan, I'm being serious. Greg, you throw your head back. But why would you not want Tom Brady? If you are indeed going for it right now,
this can't be the only way.
Why would you not want a guy who is healthy 17 games a year?
He's retired, and he says he's going to stay retired.
I would go for Lamar Jackson or Aaron Rodgers before I would go for Tom Brady.
Okay.
If I were to make a move and not trust his health.
Not talking about quarterbacks they don't have, talking about the quarterbacks they do have that they have told us at every turn is their quarterback. They are not wavering off of the position that the way that they are doing this is they are building this against something that is a little bit understood to be a little bit flimsy, a little bit injurious.
After the break, I'll tell you about the Savannah Bananas.
Well, let's do that right now, actually, because Roy went to, and I don't know where they were.
But first, a word from our sponsors.
Where they were locally, that Roy, the biggest thing in minor league or amateur baseball, the new evolution, Stugotz, of what the Vec family was doing when they made minor league baseball a regional delight that had its own giant economy because they tried things the major league baseball teams wouldn't try. The Savannah Bananas are a legitimate business that lands in a city, and it's like the circus. It's like a circus of sports getting there. They have more fun than just about anyone in baseball.
But there's two bananas. There's the real bananas that play real baseball, and then there's the touring Globetrotter bananas.
Well, I went up to Savannah for vacation last week, and I saw the Savannah Bananas in person, and they're putting fun back in baseball. I mean, that's the moniker. That's what
I mean,
they're
it's just
doing right
ridiculous, though. It's like TikTok dances before a pitch. I mean, come on. I mean,
now. I mean, they're sending out a pitch on stilts, and he's pitching.
All right, I'm in on that. Actually,
Yeah,
that's
blasphemy.
I want all nine fielders on stilts. Be tough to field a ground ball, admittedly.
But the revolutionizing.
You want somebody to have like a dustpan with a glove at the end of it? It would be hard. They'd be great at line
Just
drives over the
bunts.
shortstops.
The visual of all 9 players jogging out to their positions is funny, though.
But what they're doing for extra innings is pretty revolutionizing. So what they're doing is they have a pitcher and they have a fielder behind them. Just one fielder, right? And the batter has to hit an inside the park home run. That's what.
The catcher on stilts also tough.
Like they have 3 rounds, by the way. The first one is
The batter has to be on stilts.
No, the batter has to hit an inside the park home run for extra innings, and the pitcher has one fielder behind them. That's one round. The second round is no fielder behind the pitcher, and the batter still has to hit an inside the park home run. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see round 3 because
You didn't know what comes in round 3. So
No.
what you're saying is extra innings in Savannah Bananas baseball is if you make contact and hit a routine fly ball to center field, the pitcher has to go and chase it
I
before
love
you
that.
run around the base.
Yep, for round 2. Yep, that's exactly what they have to
So
do.
the pitcher has to throw the pitch and then immediately run as fast as he can somewhere else that's not the mound.
Exactly.
That's a bit chaotic. And you don't know what
It's awesome,
What
though.
is the third round? You
They
have
didn't
no
get past
idea?
the second round, so I
So
didn't.
you didn't look it up. You just
No.
left the stadium with no curiosity.
Murder.
But I had a lot of fun watching. Yeah, it must be murder. Yeah, you're right.
stilts.
a hand grenade.
Just to be clear, the combinations from the group are murder on stilts with a hand grenade.
Right.
Putting fun back in baseball.
All
You
right.
tune into that.
All right.
That's the fun back in baseball. What would Dick Vitale think about those rule changes in baseball?
Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Would you tune in to Murder on Stilts?
On Netflix.
Not if Dana White's attached.
I'll spend all night out in Venice, then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calling, but I'm here to cover the Rams. I'll stay in and avoid chateaus. If I booze, then I'm on Skid Row. Just one drink to begin, not like that's a big sin. Just one beer, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you know we're here to cover the big game. It's a time to be professional and avoid all the temptations the City of Angels may have to offer. Ain't that right, Jess and Kate?
That's right. We're just here to ask quirky questions to grown men wearing their full uniforms without pads in a convention hall.
Oh my God, is that George Clooney? It is!
Baby one scotch at the Roxy.
Come on now!
One shot at whiskey a go-go.
There we go! Now we're drinking to unemployed temptations, but a job to do. Professionals with a drink or two. Just a thin bowl of gin, and then I'll be locked in. After gin, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
I mean, we have been locked up for a while.
Yeah, there's no rule against covering the big game and enjoying La La Land.
Wait a minute, it's the Walk of Fame. So much to see instead of the big game. And the traffic is bad on La Brea. So come on, join me in popping tequila.
Get it!
I'm just here to drink and find Lewis Hamilton.
Guys, Kyle Brandt. You gonna shotgun a beer or what?
I don't feel so good. I am genuinely fucked up right now.
To the Super Bowl.
John Jaso quit baseball to go sail around the world. We'll talk to him in a little bit. Carlos Boozer as well will be joining us. I think Stugotz should be a little bit embarrassed. We have here at Meadowlark Media a new kid who's wandering around making videos where all he does is try to expose that no one around here knows as much about sports as he does. And it's not saying much because, as far as I know, Tony exists as a person in these videos to simply not know anyone he's being shown.
What is that supposed to mean? I knew Mick Cronin and I knew Lori Markkinen, and I think that's it.
Okay, well, you're not the one who needs to be embarrassed here because I was fairly floored that Stugotz didn't know what Francisco Lindor, the $300 million shortstop for his team, the Mets, looks like.
Yeah, I had no idea. It took me 3 guesses. So I don't know if I should be embarrassed or if baseball should be embarrassed, to be honest with you.
You're blaming baseball.
Baseball star?
Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable.
Good take.
I don't know. I mean,
kick, save, and a butte.
I mean, you guys would know, like every Marlin, if he was sitting right here in the studio with you. There's no way.
I would know their best. I would know their best player. Yeah,
But
their best player.
I knew Francisco
Jazz?
Lindor though. I knew Francisco Lindor.
Congratulations.
But I'm not a Mets fan.
Stu, you can make
I'm
the
not even
argument.
a baseball
You can make
fan.
the
you're a
argument he's a
baseball guy now.
top 5 star in baseball.
You could. I wouldn't know him if he was sitting in the studio with me. I mean, I'm sorry. I guessed Jose Reyes first.
What?
And then Elvis Andrus, I believe.
Yeah, which
Wow.
let's not get into how problematic that is. How do you watch the Mets?
Occasionally.
You must not, Stugotz.
You mustn't.
Stugotz, he plays in their games for the last 2 years. He's playing in all their games, and if he's not their highest paid player, he's pretty close to their highest paid player.
He's not anymore, I don't think. They're paying like 3. He's like their 4th highest paid player right now. I don't know what to tell you. I haven't watched baseball because the season hasn't started yet. I mean,
He was on the
They
team
played
last
for the
year.
last couple of years.
getting to it.
Plus, it was early. This Taylor comes at us pretty early in the morning.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
yes, he
like I'm
does.
tired
Oh,
still.
stop
Haven't had my
it.
cup of coffee.
You're a baseball guy.
I didn't know.
I don't drink coffee.
Listen, I didn't recognize Lindor. I mean, I'm sorry. What do you want from me? It took me 3 guesses.
I
Don't
just-
recognize your most famous
just-
player
it's
of
on,
the team.
It's
that
on
you're-
your team, Stugotz. I'm not
Verlander
asking,
and Scherzer.
Yeah.
nobody's asking you to know all of Major
It
League
seems like you
Baseball's
are.
play's.
I mean-
no, just a
Don't
guy
flip
on
this on
your
us.
team.
I
Well,
blamed it on
he
baseball.
blamed it on
Deeply
us,
embarrassing
baseball,
for a self-described
Market
Mets
your
fan.
players better. We all talk about how we wouldn't
Oh,
know
for the
Mike
love
Trout
of
if he was
God.
walking down the
Like, they
street.
market him plenty.
Don't
That's how I
blame
know who
me.
he is.
I mean, don't
Market
blame
your
me.
players better.
Jeez.
New York.
He's got behind
Trouty,
him
I mean-
a vintage Jets or Mets jacket that Juju gave him
Yeah.
from the 1980s Mets era, championship Mets era.
And if you flashed up Mookie Wilson on the screen, I would know it's Mookie Wilson. Why? Better time for baseball. They marketed their players better back then.
Hojo. Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly. Players stayed put for a minute, you know?
Let's update our tournament here.
You don't know your team's most famous player because he got there a season ago because
2
of free
seasons
agency.
ago. 2
2
seasons
seasons ago. This is absurd, Stugotz.
You didn't know he was there 2 seasons ago? I mean,
Let's update the tournament. Number
I was going to guess Jose Reyes if I got Lindor wrong.
Oh my God.
There, I said it.
Number 7, Missouri, is represented by
Adam Silver looked like a game piece from the board game Sorry.
facing number 10, Utah State.
Adam Silver looked like a grapefruit seed.
Billy, you've been obsessed the last couple of days with the World Baseball Classic.
WBC, Dano.
Yesterday, what did we get? Did we get a walk-off mercy rule perfect game? What was it? Did we get
That's what it was. There was a walk-off mercy rule perfect game. It wasn't a perfect game because it wasn't 27 outs, but that's like a whole other thing. Because there's mercy rules in WBC. If you're up by 15 runs after 5 innings, the game is over. Or if you're up by 10 runs after 7 innings, the game is over. So there was a perfect. Well, Chris asked if it's like Little League. Chris has takes on Little League. I don't know if he wants to get to
T-ball,
those
yeah.
on the air. He's not a fan of T-ball.
T-ball's changed. I don't like it.
Yeah, we can get to
We can
that,
get to that
a little
later.
bit later. Yeah.
What
exactly.
happened with T-ball? What's wrong with T-ball?
My daughter's playing T-ball right now, and it's changed.
How's it changed?
It's kind of like that everyone gets a trophy thing. I'm becoming I'm an old person now, and that no one gets out in T-ball anymore. If I hit a little dribbler ground ball to first base, and the first baseman picks it up and tags first, that little hitter should go back to the dugout. Not anymore. They all go to first base.
Wow.
They just all run around the bases. The last hitter comes up. It's like, all right, last hitter. Now you're all going to run around. Last hitter hits a home run every time, no matter how far he hits it. I just don't like it. It's like these kids aren't learning how to play baseball. My daughter thinks every time you hit it, you go to first base. And that's not how it works. Actually, you could be a really good hitter and only go 3 out of 10 times. And that's what I'm trying to teach her. And it's hard to when you're always safe in T-ball.
What has happened to America? Participation trophies.
Not this again.
And you know it.
Oh, and you know it. Another thing, I was at that game last night, Christopher, and I will say one thing. You got to get rid of that music. It's an abomination. I'm sorry.
Dad.
You're not saying it. I am.
Dad, first of all, okay, he's talking about we have a parent that ask kids walk-ups so our team has now batting Graceland and my dad used to do that for my teams growing up. Is it because you're not doing it?
They're playing teenage music for 5-year-olds.
No,
inappropriate.
Age inappropriate.
They're all
music.
clean songs, not a single curse word.
Yeah, that's because a couple of the curse words were bleeped out.
Yep.
You don't do that.
Yeah, he's right.
You don't.
I don't even know what he's saying right now. You used to do that.
Yeah, you do know what I'm
You
saying.
used to play music
Not
at
for
my games.
5-year-olds.
Right, for
Age
teenagers.
appropriate.
It was age appropriate. That's right, Billy. It was age
You used to
appropriate.
play that damn algebra song.
Oh, I love that song.
You guys were taking algebra.
What group is that, Dad?
I forget. That's how long it's been since I played it.
John Jaso is with us now. We can bring him into this conversation.
Holy shit, this head of hair.
Yeah, he looks great. Yes, you look like somebody who sails
wind hair.
sails all over the world, has no time for baseball because he's too busy with the waves and the sun. So happy to see this man. He made a life choice and a career choice that seems much better than hitting a ball with a stick. Nice to see you, sir. Thank you for making the time for us.
Hey, absolutely. You got it. Nice to see you guys.
Please tell us about your decision making. You get to baseball, you make a few $1 million. You were telling everybody, I'm going to get out pretty soon and buy a sailboat, and that's what you did.
Yeah, man. That last year, I guess I don't know, maybe about halfway through the season or so, I just started dreaming about the wild blue yonder, I guess, and started researching about it and got a boat actually probably with a month left there, probably in August or something like that. I think it was August when I bought it. And then I just started dreaming about being on that boat. And I knew once that last game happened, that was it. I was stepping away.
Were you thinking about the boat during the last game?
No, I was actually really just trying to soak it all in. And I'm very aware that what was to come was going to come, but just to be there in the moment, because, that wasn't going to be there anymore. So I was just gonna soak up the rest of what I could of baseball and being with the fellas and all that stuff.
Easy decision or difficult decision?
Easy decision, man.
How long had you been thinking about it?
Well, I kind of fell in love with the water when I moved out here to Florida, so that was always growing inside of me. And I think, I don't know, it was probably in the season somewhere where I was really like, yeah, no, it's time to just squeeze what I can out of the rest of this lemon and see what else is out there in life for me and in the world for me. And so I guess it was just like that last season there, 2017, where I was really, really contemplating and really deciding on it.
Are your fingernails painted green?
Oh yeah, do you see that? Yes, they are.
Well,
yeah.
that and your hair, do you realize how many baseballs would have been thrown at you if you continued to play looking the way that you look right now?
Baseballs, jokes, the whole thing. Yeah, I know. I had to get out of there while I still could, right?
The hair, Mike Ryan just whispered to me, I cannot believe what John Jaso looks like. He looks
You
like
went for the man ram.
he looks like meditation and
I don't
peace.
know how long you can see them. They're pretty, they're pretty long, man.
All right, I've got 2 questions that we've been chewing on back here. Number 1, are you wearing shoes presently?
I've got
yeah, actually, I just put on shoes because
Velcro sandals.
Velcro sandals?
Sandals with the Velcro around the back?
No, I do wear sandals. Like, it's only whenever I go to the gym do I have shoes on. So I'm heading to the gym right after this.
Individual toe shoes?
On your boat?
No, individual toe shoes. No.
All right, but you got shoes on.
Do
you paint your toes? Do you paint your toenails too?
No. And these, I do have to say, they're just finger guns. So.
Oh, okay.
Classic.
Well done, Jaso.
Question number 2: how did you celebrate 311 Day?
3/11 day?
Yeah, the band out of Omaha, Nebraska was March 11th. Is amber the color of your energy?
Oh, okay, yeah. They're actually coming here on this Thursday.
To your house?
To the house or on the
No,
boat?
I wish.
On the boat? The gym?
Throw a badass party if they were. No, but they're actually coming to Reggae Rise Up, which I'm going to. So that's all this.
Not
this
at all
weekend.
surprising.
For sure.
John, do you live on the boat? Do you live on the boat, or you just travel on the boat?
No. So right now is just half of the year I'll go sailing, and I've been up and down the Bahamas a few times. I've been to the Caribbean, and the boat right now is in Grenada. I've got it all the way down there. And so half the year I do that, and then I'm an avid snowboarder also. So I can't. It's hard for me to pass up on a snow season up here. So I come back here for the snow season, and I just go back and forth to the Rockies. I've already been probably like on 5 or 6 different trips, and so I do that. But then I go right back to the boat once that's all done.
Was baseball too slow for you, boring compared to what it is you wanted to be doing with your life?
Well, if they had the pitch clock like they do now, when I was playing, I might be there for a couple more years. Now, but actually, I was more splitting time towards the end there. Actually, I split time a lot since I always platoon catching, but I felt like my playing time was actually decreasing more because when I was with the Pirates, we had Josh Bell coming, and the first year I maybe played a lot more, and it was his first year in the big leagues. But then the second year, he was playing a lot more. He was like the new stud kid, and so then I stopped playing, and it did kind of get boring, I will say. I needed more excitement. I'm a dude that has a lot of things on his plate. I'm not really like a golfer or anything like that. That would be more, I guess, what you expect from a retired baseball player. But I do have a lot of other things going on. And yeah, so I stay busy, and I guess sitting on the bench really is not really how my personality is built.
Favorite Dispatch song, The General or Two Coins?
Favorite Dispatch song? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now, but I
would you consider Two Coins a foot tapper, a toe tapper?
2 Coins?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I can't. I'm like really drawing a blank on Dispatch songs, but I do love them. I do know that, and I have seen them live a few times. But right now, I'm really into the Expendables. I love the Expendables. They're awesome. Great guitar, crunchy sound, reggae tone. It's pretty cool.
Sly.
Yeah.
It's a different Expendables, Stugotz.
Yeah.
Jason, where's the most
different Expendables? Yes.
Yeah, you fell for it though, and so did I. Where's the most where's the most interesting place you visited, Jason, on your travels?
On my travels, I did a lot of diving. God, I have a dive compressor and tanks and everything on my boat, and Turks and Caicos is really awesome. It's they have a whole marine preserve there, so you can't go in there and start dragging nets or anything. So there's a lot of life. I probably did like 70 dives on one trip for my boat, and that was pretty awesome. But I also, my girlfriend and I went to the BVIs. We got the boat from Turks and Caicos over to the BVIs, and the BVIs are just amazing. I love it there. Also Dominica, not Dominican Republic, but Dominica. It's a island down the chain, down the Windward Islands. That's also fabulous. That's like the Hawaiian island of the Caribbean, I would say.
When you say you have a lot of interests, what is the most unique among them?
I would say, God, it probably is sailing and diving. I mean, I don't think a lot of people my age would have the lifestyle I have. So I guess it'd be pretty unique. I feel pretty blessed to be doing what I'm doing. And being able to do that and snowboarding back to back in a single year. I mean, that's my favorite thing.
You should take up hockey, dude. It's one of my favorite pastimes. By the way,
take up hockey.
Yeah, big ups to hockey. When you're when you're snowboarding on that fresh powder, dude, do you ever say nar nar?
Yeah, man, go shred the narnar.
Shredded narnar, dude.
Go shred the narnar.
Connor McDavid's having an incredible season.
All right.
I've
Nobody
never
wants
played hockey, but I do like going and watching hockey, man, because our Tampa Bay Lightning are pretty fun to watch.
Nobody asked to hear from
Come on,
Surfer
man, get out of
Guy far away
into
from
hockey.
the microphone.
He's killing me, dude.
What did
Who is that guy back there?
I don't associate. Yeah, don't listen to him.
Shredding some nar.
I don't associate baseball with concussions. How much did concussions have to do with your decision?
Yeah, that's another factor too, right? Because after my last concussion, which is pretty big, the head doctor wouldn't really clear me to go back behind the plate again. So then I had to switch over to something else. Luckily, the Rays, they took me as a DH, and then the Pirates took me as a first baseman / outfielder. So yeah, that was a big one. That was a big one that probably shortened my playing time a little bit, but you know, who knows? Could be a blessing, could be, you know, I can't really tell you, because I did squeeze out 3 more years. So
Is snowboarding the best thing with concussion issues?
oh man, no, it's not. But
Right.
no, I thought you were gonna end it with this snowboarding the best thing. I was gonna be like, hell yeah, man.
So take out the second part. Take out the second part.
Yeah.
Is snowboard. Let's redo this.
No, I won't give up snowboarding. man.
Let's
No
redo
way.
this. Is snowboarding the best thing?
Yeah, and I probably I'm hoping that, and I don't really wear a helmet, so I'm hoping that my hair just kind of pads any type of fall I might have.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
I've got one more question. Your name, sometimes people mispronounce it. Have you ever said the phrase "Jaso" like queso?
Jaso like queso? No, but
should use that.
it's always come out as like Jaso or something like that, right? Or John Jason. I get John Jason all the time.
All right.
Yeah.
Check out his YouTube channel. It's called Tipsy Nomads. Thank you.
I'll catch you at the Dirty Heads, bro.
Yeah, man. Dirty Heads. They're coming here this weekend too.
To your house?
Gavin by the sea.
See you later, Jaso. Thank you for making the time, sir.
Like queso.
All right, guys. Thank you.
I'll spend all night out in Venice, then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calm.
His name, of course, is Wade Jones.
Did the Jets get Rodgers yet?
Hello. I'm trying to find out who that is. So, here we go. Can I flip it now? Ooh, baseball. Okay.
Damn, my baseball player knowledge is not great.
Who that is, I feel like I'm among the leaders in this competition. I'm a little worried, though. I don't like the smile that Taylor has.
Holy shit, who is that? Who is that?
All right, Taylor tells me Mike Ryan says I'm gonna get this one. I don't know what he means by that. This is easy. This is so easy.
All right, this week's edition of Who Dat Is. This is a baseball player. Oh no.
What's my guy from the Nationals? No? You know the guy, right? You know that guy from the Nationals.
It's not Jose Reyes. Is it Jose Reyes? Elvis Andrus.
This is the Mets. Indian shortstop, plays for the Mets now. This is like 8:30 in the morning, and I'm really tired, so that's why I haven't said the name yet. I clearly know who this is.
So okay, so it's a Met. It's a Met.
It's a Met. I don't know my own players.
He plays second base, right? No. He plays outfield now. He used to play second base. No?
No. No, I do not know who this is.
I didn't want to guess because guessing wrong would probably be bad here. I'm out.
I don't even know. I don't know.
Ready? This is Francisco Lindor.
Oh, come on.
I mean, that's easy. That's an easy one.
To whom?
You didn't get it?
I didn't get it. I came out of the blue with this game. I thought I had it.
No one got this one? This one's not hard. This is the first one I got.
This is a baseball player, obviously. Is this Lindor? Yeah, I'm a big baseball guy now. F. Lindor.
Wow, I'm having a moment right now. Lindor. It's 8:30. What's Francisco Lindor? Jesus.
Francisco Lindor. You know what the F in Francisco Lindor stands for? You.
I'll spend all night out in Venice. Then
If I say to you right now, you can only pick one individual or group, the biggest musical name in the world right now is what? Either band or individual.
Dead and Company.
Yes.
That was in your ear. That wasn't said to anybody other than you, Greg.
It was a good joke, though.
What was the joke? What were you supposed to say, Greg? I wish you were better at this, but you don't need the meetings. What was said in your ear?
Yes.
Toots and the Maytals.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
This was a band, right?
Yes.
R.I.P. Mr. Hibbert.
Is it Bad Bunny? Is it Drake?
Internationally, I would say it's Bad Bunny. He's the biggest streamed artist on the planet right now.
Wow. Bigger than Taylor Swift?
No, stop.
Internationally, yes, Bad Bunny is bigger.
Well,
than
he's
Taylor
about to
Swift.
become bigger because of who he's dating, right? He's about to become even more famous than he was minutes before he started dating Kendall Jenner.
Yeah, Dan. And I'm torn about this.
Is that a
So
guess?
there's pros and there's cons about what's happening here. Obviously, we know that there's a long history of the Kardashian curse with specific men that they've dated. So I want to put that into one bucket over here. Over in the other bucket here, estoy muy orgulloso, okay, that our people have ascended to a place where we are now dating people who are the royalty in America for whatever that's.
You're proud of your people because Bad Bunny is dating into the Kardashian.
A Kardashian yes, of course.
Wow.
Of course. What do you mean? The biggest artist on the planet, a Hispanic, a Puerto Rican kid from Puerto Rico who's now made it to the levels of dating a Kardashian Jenner, whatever, what have you. So that's the good part.
I don't think I didn't think of a
Well,
culture.
there's different buckets, Dan.
There's two buckets, yeah, Dan. So
Which one's
that's the good-
participating in a Royal Rumble?
That's a third bucket somewhere off down the line.
Participating well in a Royal
Yeah,
Rumble.
he's
participating in a way that surprised me
He's
how
really good
he
at
was.
everything.
He's amazing.
Crazy,
at everything.
right?
Yeah.
But the point is, like, we're looking at something that could be detrimental to the future of his music. I don't think it's going to happen personally. I think he's going to continue to make great music. But there's a tinge, there's a bat in the back of my mind. There's just something there like, what if it's real? What if the curse is real and we see Bad Bunny just devolve into a lesser and lesser artist? I don't believe it's going to happen, but it's there.
Have the Jenners cursed people, or are we just like? Because I know they're sisters, but like I kind of have the Kylie and
Another bucket,
and
you're saying?
Kylie and Kendall to me are not as like haven't had as many crazy relationships as like the Kardashian girls.
Why are we putting this on them? They tend to go for some volatile individuals like Travis Scott. It didn't go sideways for him because he was dating a Jenner.
Well, I mean,
Well, it's only basketball players that have made their way into, and Kanye, I suppose.
Travis
That's what
Scott is
we're
not a
getting a lo-
basketball player. He's a hip hop artist.
yeah, but
But I'm saying in terms of being derailed, when we talk
all of a sudden
about
we're looking at
guys-
everybody
It
being
was a rough
derailed
year
here.
for old Travis Scott.
I think the whole Kardashian lifestyle was too fast for James Harden, was it not? He visited for a moment and then fled the premises scared, not unlike he did with the Nets in general.
Well, now Tyga's dating Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
You could say things went off the rails for him very quickly too.
For Tyga?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean why? Like he had a great song, Rack City. That was it. Started dating Kylie in a weird relationship. All of a sudden, that was gone.
Why are
he
we
tried to go at
blaming-
Drake. Drake
Why do you have
buried
to make
him.
things so complicated?
What's? I see what you did there.
Why are we blaming? What is happening with Tiger Woods? These
It's
reported
a different Tyga.
Yeah, it's
Different
a different
Tiger.
Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different Tiger.
for
It's
one.
not Tiger.
Transition.
Transition.
Get it right. Be careful too.
That
Be
is
careful.
not-
Speaking of Tiger.
You made me think of Tiger Woods. That is not a
Still
mistake.
smiling.
It is a mistake I could make. I can understand why you'd think that I would
Do you
make
think
it, but
this
it's not a
lawsuit against
mistake
Tiger Woods
I
is
am
a
making.
Jenner that's doing it?
I do not.
Oh.
I'm asking about a different story in a different bucket. The Tiger Woods story
Lot of
of
buckets.
how to
Yeah,
get
lot
out
of
of a relationship.
Couple of buckets cutting it up.
I thought James Harden was a bucket.
Jamal Crawford is for sure.
Okay.
Michael Beasley.
Wait.
Oh, well, Michael Beasley.
Automatic bucket. Yeah.
Michael
That is
Beasley
a
dated
bucket.
a
By himself?
Kardashian?
Not that I'm aware of.
Anyway.
It is being reported that Tiger Woods, and I don't know how it is we get this kind of access to his personal life, but the move that
Lawsuit, Stan. That's
I had not seen coming. Thank you, Stugotz.
I was just letting you know.
Uh-huh.
You asked a question, I answered it.
Mm-hmm. You're always helpful that way.
Yep.
I'm surprised you just didn't go, Tig.
El Tigre.
Not necessary.
Oh, did you know that Avril Lavigne dated a Jenner? She dated Brody Jenner.
Look at that.
And then she said, "See you later."
Don't
How about
you
that?
have a theory that she's like a body double of herself?
Right, the real Avril Lavigne died, and she was too profitable, and the record label switched her with an actress.
I thought she was still married to the person from Good Charlotte.
No.
The guy with the face?
It was
The guy with the face?
That was Sum 41, a different skater boy.
What happened with the Good Charlotte thing? Because the other brother from Good Charlotte is married to Nicole Richie.
Nicole Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, which one is married? Joel? Which one's a cute one?
Which one does J-So like?
Dan?
Tiger Woods is reported to have dropped off the woman that he was dating at the airport, saying that they were going on a vacation, and then going home and changing the locks on his home. A move I had not heard before in terms of extracting yourself from a relationship. The fake vacation move, and then changing the locks
Just
on
break
your
up
home.
with her.
I mean,
It's always been a tricky spot for Tiger historically. Just doesn't
The
know how to
end?
really. Yeah, the end
The
seems
end?
tricky for Tiger.
Outside of changing of the locks, it feels like a Stugotz move. Driving someone to the airport that he's supposed to go on a plane with. Hey,
Yeah.
buddy, all right, you know what? Plans have changed. I'm going to drop you. I got to go back home. I'll be
Yeah.
back in an hour. I'm hopping on the next bird. I'll meet you there tonight for dinner. 9:30 Resi we got.
I'm not saying I wouldn't consider it. I am not. I'm not at all saying it, but there is an easier way. Just, hey, I'm breaking up with you. Like, it's over.
true.
You know?
That's awkward, though.
This is much more passive.
This isn't.
This is much more passive.
Avril Lavigne was married to Chad Kroger. Did you guys know that?
Oh, supermarket guy.
Nickelback.
I'll spend all night out in Venice, then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calling, but I'm here to cover the Rams. I'll stay in and avoid chateaus. If I booze, then I'm on Skid Row. Just one drink to begin, not like that's a big sin. Just one beer, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you know we're here to cover the big game. It's a time to be professional and avoid all the temptations the City of Angels may have to offer. Ain't that right, Jess and Kate?
That's right. We're just here to ask quirky questions to grown men wearing their full uniforms without pads in a convention hall.
Oh my God, is that George Clooney?
It is!
Maybe one scotch at the Roxy.
Come on now!
One shot at whiskey, a go-go.
There we go! Now we're drinking to avoid temptations, but a job to do. Professionals with a drink or two. Just a thimble of gin, and then I'll be locked in. After gin, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
I mean, we have been locked
So much to see instead of the big game. And the traffic is bad on La Brea. So come on, join me in popping tequila.
I'm just here to drink and find Lewis Hamilton. Hey
guys, Kyle Brand. You gonna shotgun a beer or what? I don't feel so good. I am genuinely fucked up right now.
Showtime, buddy! Racism, greed, trauma to brain and spine. And yet, I cannot look away. Heroes are dead. Science has their heads. Oh, is there no escape from here? I need to know. It eats my soul. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's human cockfighting. CTE prayer circles. They blackballed the blackballer. They tried to end racism by stenciling it in the end zone. Billionaire boys using millionaires as toys. It's all immoral, all unethical. Ooh, the witching hour. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's Urban and Snyder and Flores and Gruden, but Kyler, but Kelsey, but Cooper, but Canton. It's cheating and tanking and bounties and banking, but parlays, but face paint, but promo, but weddings.
I'll spend all night out in Venice, then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calling, but I'm here to cover the Rams. I'll stay in and avoid chateaus. If I booze, then I'm on Skid Row. Just one drink to begin, not like that's a big sin. Just one beer, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you know we're here to cover the big game. It's a time to be professional and avoid all the temptations the City of Angels may have to offer. Ain't that right, Jess and Kate?
That's right. We're just here to ask quirky questions to grown men wearing their full uniforms without pads in a convention hall.
Oh my God, is that George Clooney?
It is!
Baby, one scotch at the Roxy.
Come on now!
One shot at whiskey a go-go.
There we go. Now we're drinking to avoid temptations, but a job to do.
Always enjoy talking to this guy. He's with us on behalf of Pepsi and DraftKings. Both are giving you a free shot at $100,000 for getting zero right with the DraftKings Zero Right Bracket Challenge presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar. We'll get to that in a second. His sons are big stars at Columbus High School here in Miami. Thank you for joining us, Carlos. How unreasonable are you watching them play? Are you somebody who berates referees? How are you about watching your sons play basketball?
I try my Dan. How you doing? Good to be on. By the way, I do my best just to be a dad and enjoy the game. But there are some times where I'll go talk to the ref at halftime. But for the most part, I just cheer them on.
Do you ever tell the coach that the coach doesn't know what he's doing or any derivative thereof because you know more about basketball than the coach does?
No, I haven't done that. Coach is doing a really good job. Coach Andrew's doing a great job of coaching the boys. They won their second state championship this year as sophomores and getting ready for the national tournament. So he's doing pretty good.
What can you tell us that's not known, Carlos, about the recruitment of you and others in that crazy 2010 free agency time?
Oh, it was nuts, man. I mean, obviously, we were trying to decide if we're going to stay where we are. I was with the Utah Jazz or, go on to different situations. I ended up going to Chicago. But great recruitment, man. I talked to, 5, 6, 7 different teams in different realms and trying to figure out where LeBron was going because obviously he was the big fish that summer. He wanted to partner up, obviously, with somebody else. He ended up doing a pretty good job in getting D-Wade and Bosch to go down to Miami with them. So, but yeah, it was fun, man. We had a good time. We enjoyed, I enjoyed the free agency process, the recruitment process. Got a chance to go to Chicago and play with some young studs like D Rose and Joakim Noah. So had a good time.
What do you regard as the most difficult professional decision you've had to make on your choices?
I would say just trying to decide where a championship could be won. I think there was a huge part of me that wanted to stay in Utah. I spent 6 years there and built a great rapport with Jerry Sloan and Darren Williams, who was my point guard, another star we had on the team. But there was something missing. I think we needed like a real big center, like a Marcus Camby or DeAndre Ayton or someone like that to block shots and rebound. Chicago had all the pieces that I felt like we needed to win a championship. And then obviously D Rose, him being injured was tough. Obviously the first year we go all the way to the conference finals, lose to the Heat, and we thought like the next couple of years we'd be in the championship. But without our best player, it was very difficult.
How often do your sons call up on YouTube the time that you made an and one and swung your fist so ferociously in celebration that you hit a referee in the junk?
They have done that many times. They sent me the video. I think they're hanging out with their buddies, and some of their buddies showed the video to them, so they brought it up. But people, you got to remember, that was a game we were getting blown out in Dallas. Dirk was going crazy, and we actually made a comeback and won that game. So that moment was part of that comeback, and was a good moment.
If you had to choose one game above all others that you remember the most fondly, any point in your career, what one game would that be?
I would say the gold medal game against Spain, in 2008, winning the gold medal. Very few chances as athletes do we get a chance to represent our country. And that was a very unique moment. We got a chance to win the gold medal in Beijing and to kind of revitalize USA being the dominant country for basketball. And that was an awesome moment.
Jerry Sloan seems like he'd be very difficult to play for.
No, quite the opposite. The good thing about Coach Sloan, may he rest in peace, he was a player, right? So I remember one of my first conversations with him when I came to the Jazz in 2004 was like, look, I only want to see you guys for 2 hours. We're going to practice from 10 to 12 because when I played, I hated going over 2 hours myself. So he was great he was like one of those guys that was tough-minded. He wanted tough players on his roster. So he only recruited those kind of guys. But he was a player. So he knew after 2 hours, if you go hard for 2 hours, that's all you really need to get enough work in. And then at the same time, he was he was an X and O's guy, but he was a your will can carry you kind of guy. So I had a great time playing for him.
He always gave off no nonsense coach, and he also gave off would lather up his chest with a bar of soap and then just use that as shampoo.
No, he was tough, man. I mean, I remember seeing the interview that the logo did, Jerry West did, and they asked him, who was your toughest opponent? And he was like, going to see Chicago and playing against Jerry Sloan, because I would leave that game with all type of bruises on my body. I felt like I was in a war. And that's the kind of respect he had amongst his peers. And that's the same way he was as coaching. He had that kind of respect because he was no nonsense, took the game very serious. And I really enjoyed playing for him.
Carlos, I'm hoping you can address something, because we've had you on a couple of times, and trust me, I'm doing my best to make sure Dan doesn't ask you about the Beijing again. I'm really working hard. Okay?
We did that already.
I know we've done that. He's going to ask you about Prince. I'm doing my best.
I
all
don't
right?
have it right now. Like I got, what I mean? I got the ball head hat on.
I'm doing my best over here to play
I want to know if Carlos Boozer fired anybody over the Beijing. I want to know if anybody.
He can't help himself, man.
He did fire somebody.
I did. The same guy. It took me I had to shampoo my hair 7 times to get it out.
You should have done it with a bar of soap, like Jerry Sloan.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, because social media wasn't really a thing when this happened, and I don't think we've ever asked you about this. There was a perception when you signed with Utah that the narrative was on all the blogs, Carlos Boozer, quote, cons a blind man. And I don't really know the particulars surrounding that, but you were made to be a villain and positioned as a backstabber. What did people get wrong about that situation, you leaving the Cavs and going to Utah?
Yeah, well, the reality of it was I was a 2nd-round pick, so I had a 2-year contract with an option for a 3rd year. And they had discussed taking my option away so they could re-sign me. The only bad thing about that is it would be tampering, and they were going to be under investigation. So, when we went through the process, they took away my option. They wanted to give me a new contract. The league knows everything. So when they took away my contract, my 3rd-year option, they were going to offer me a deal around $40 million. But the league was also getting indication that there was 4 other teams that were offering me 70 plus. So if I had re-signed, then they would immediately knew that it was tampering, kind of like the Joe Smith situation in Minnesota back in the day. So if I had done that, we had got wind, me and my team had got wind that there would be an investigation. So I had to move on. That's what the fans didn't know. I had to move on, otherwise it would have crippled the Cavaliers for a couple of years.
How uncomfortable was that to go through publicly? Have you had something like that, basketball related, as uncomfortable?
At the time it was uncomfortable, but the extra money the Jazz were giving me made it pretty cool. It ended up working out just fine from that perspective. But, anytime you hear stuff being said about you and not everybody knows all the details, and I couldn't really speak about it at the time, it is difficult. But, we got through it. Everything that you go through is a lesson and something to be learned and something to grow from. So I did that.
What would you regard as the year that you felt the greatest pressure playing basketball?
That's a good question. My rookie year, trying to prove myself to everybody was difficult, just because, you come into the league and I got thrown in the fire. I was playing like 30 minutes a night when I started to start after a couple of weeks. And I'm going against, Karl Malone and Tim Duncan and KG and Dirk and Rasheed and Jermaine O'Neal, and the list goes on. The power forwards, when I first came in the league, were unbelievable. And I wasn't ready yet. These guys were giving it to me. And so it took me a year or two to be on the level. And then when I made the All-Star team a couple of years later, I felt like all the hard work I put in, all those lessons I learned my rookie year, really helped motivate me to become a better basketball player.
It is said that Tim Duncan's trash talk is surgical, in that it's fundamental as well, and that he'll just tell you'll miss a block shot by inches, and he'll be like a whisper almost to you. Do you have a Tim Duncan story that you can tell us?
Timmy became a good friend. We played together in 2004 on the Olympics, so we spent a couple of months together over the summer. But my first, I don't know if it was the exact first game, but one of my first games against Timmy, he gave me like 28, 17, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 blocks. At the end of the game, he goes, "Booze, you're good, but you got to get better, son. That it was like one of those, but it was an honest moment. It was like, dang, it's coming from the great Timmy D, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get in the lab and I'm gonna get better, Timmy. So that was for me, because we became friends. I got a little bit more than like a one word, a humble brag. It was more like, Booze, you're good, but you got to get in the lab, son. So it was one of those. But he was great. I mean, he really was super fundamental. But that's what made him so terrific, and he was a winner. And I think that's what we all wanted to do, was be able to win. And he just wasn't the flashy guy. He wasn't, necessarily dribbling behind his back all the time and doing the fancy move that the kids like to see. But he got the job done, and you guys can all attest to that.
How about Garnett? Did Garnett have anything to say to you that you were like, that's gibberish, you're a crazy person?
Garnett's a whole different monster. KG was very, very talkative, very demonstrative, very passionate, and he let that passion show. I have a couple stories, but I can't really tell them on air because the language.
No, come on, let it fly. It's okay. It's okay.
Come on, it's okay because the host says it is.
It's okay, and you could bleep it out yourself if you want to. Bleep,
We're live, but we can't.
I'll give you a quick one. So I'm in Cleveland. This is my first year playing. I'm a rook in Cleveland. I'm at this point early in the season. I'm coming off the bench. I check into the game. We have a dude starting named Chris Mim. He was our starting power forward at the time. And KG's having a tough night. He's like, I don't know what he is. He's like 2 for 7 or 2 for 8 or whatever it is, right? And I come in the game for Chris Mim, who we thought he was doing a great job on him, obviously, because he's 2 for 7. So that's a pretty good job on Kevin Garnett. And he's in the prime of his career in Minnesota. And he gets fouled. And that's the first thing. So he like walks up to the ball under the basket, grabs the ball. He's like, doing one of these with the ball. And then as he walks back towards the free throw line to shoot his free throws, he's like, come on, ticket. I can't say what he said, but he's like, this dude can't guard you. He's talking to himself in like third person,
calls himself
but loud enough so everybody can hear him. And he called himself Ticket because, his nickname is the Big Ticket. So he'd be like, come on, Ticket. This dude can't guard you. Not in those words. But we all got the gist. And then he ended up having like 35 and 20 at the end of the game. But that's just a quick example of Kevin Garnett.
Back-to-back state champs for your sons, the twin boys, Columbus Explorers state champs. How much do they like Coral Gables? Don't they love it? The campus is beautiful. Has anyone spoken
what
to
is
you?
Happening
Would you
here?
like someone
what
to speak to you?
What are you doing?
I saw you. I saw him in the Golden Cane Lounge
is this
at
legal?
the Duke game,
What are
and
you
it's just I'm
doing?
wondering if they like being in Miami. Columbus hop, skip, and a jump away.
Are you teeing up University of Miami?
I just so happen to be a booster.
Legal?
I just so happen to be a booster. No, I would just I can take him over for a campus visit if you'd like. I know Cameron is probably named after Cameron Indoor Stadium, but we can fix that.
Will you please stop?
If you take out the Adidas scandal years, Coach L has a winning record against Duke.
He's with us on behalf of Pepsi. Pepsi and DraftKings are giving you a free shot at $100,000. Boozer, tell them how they can do this.
My last name is Ruiz.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, so I teamed up with Pepsi Zero, the Pepsi Zero Sugar Challenge, to encourage people to get zero right. They have their own bracket, the DraftKings Zero Right Bracket Challenge. You get a chance to win $100,000 by getting the incorrect answer. The lowest score will get a chance to win $100,000. Obviously, if you tie with somebody, they'll split it up accordingly. But it's pretty cool. The zero right. There's zero sugar in it. It's supposed to taste amazing. And you can sign up through DraftKings. So sign up, guys, for the DraftKings Zero Right Bracket Challenge. Try to get as many basically incorrect as possible, and the lowest score can win $100,000.
Carlos, thank you for being on with us.
Their games would go so well with North.
Will you knock it off? I didn't ask him about Prince. I was furious, Boozer, when I heard that you told Dan Patrick that Prince wired you $500,000 to ease your mind on that purple salon he put in the house that he was renting from you. You never gave me anything that good, Boozer. I asked you from several different angles. I've asked you how the relationship with Prince went, and you didn't tell me shit. Nothing.
He had a good jump shot. We shot hoops on the rooftop. Pretty good jump shot. My bad. I got you.
So does Caden, by the way. And if you ever want to come by to
shut up,
the
Mike
Watts
Ryan.
go.
Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate your time, sir.
Anytime, guys.
Thank you so much.
night out in Venice. Then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calling, but I'm here to cover the Rams. I'll stay in and avoid chateaus. If I booze, then I'm on Skid Row. Just one drink to begin, not like that's a big sin. Just one beer, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you know we're here to cover the big game. It's a time to be professional and avoid all the temptations the City of Angels may have to offer. Ain't that right, Justin Kane?
That's right. We're just here to ask quirky questions to grown men wearing their full uniforms without pads in a convention hall.
Oh my God, is that George Clooney?
It is!
Baby, one scotch at the Roxy.
Come on now!
One shot at whiskey, a go-go.
There we go! Now we're drinking to avoid temptations, but a job to do. Professionals with a drink or two. Just a thin bowl of gin, and then I'll be locked in. After gin, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
I mean, we have been locked up for a while.
Yeah, there's no rule against covering the big game and enjoying La La Land.
Wait a minute, it's the Walk of Fame. So much to see instead of the big game. And the traffic is bad on La Brea. So come on, join me in popping tequila.
Get it!
I'm just here to drink and find Lewis Hamilton.
Hey guys, need a shotgun of beer or what? I don't feel so good. I am genuinely fucked up right now.
To the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super
Let's do another round of shots. One more round.
It's showtime, buddy!
Racism, greed, trauma to brain and spine. And yet, I cannot look away. Heroes are dead. Science has their heads. Oh, is there no escape from here? I need. Let's update some more tournament here, Mike, because we've got a lot of teams to get to. I don't know where Stugotz is. He's been flighty and inconsistent lately. He doesn't like our new schedule. He keeps coming in and out of the room to smoke cigarettes. I don't know where Greg Cody went. We have misplaced Greg Cody. He insisted while packing up his things that we promote his podcast. He doesn't even have time to do it. He said, just ask Chris Cody about what's going on with the Greg Cody show featuring Greg Cody.
Oh, this episode specific is chaotic. Greg Cody's was in the Keys You know, that should be a sell enough because you know if he's in the Keys, he's got a BM.
He did it from the Keys?
Yes, and
dozens of beers in?
Most people call BMs bowel movements, right? To my dad, a BM's a Bloody Mary. Like that. Like when I say to you, I had a BM, don't you think bowel movement?
I have a game, and it's when I ask the server, "How's your Bloody Mary?" It doesn't matter their answer. I'm ordering it. It doesn't matter.
That is true. That's actually a great point. But Mike, people do this thing with Bloody Marys. Like, how is it there? How is their Bloody Mary? Hey, it's vodka and tomato juice.
Oh, God.
That's it.
I don't like Bloody Marys, but you know what I don't like especially? When they try to get all fancy with it and put like a cocktail shrimp and a piece of bacon and a whole thing of broccoli. The thing is taller than the actual drink itself.
Celery and bacon are terrible.
Come on, give me a break. Get over yourself.
I
don't understand the appeal.
A date with
There's
pimento?
In Miami, they have like a batalito inside, and you're like, what are you doing?
You dip it in the tomato juice with vodka, and
It's incredible.
Disgusting.
So even if they tell me their Bloody Mary is bad, I'll be like, I don't believe you.
So this week on the Greg Cody Show with Greg Cody, my dad is on site in the Keys. His connection's terrible. It's chaotic. We also have Kate Fagan. She saves the interview because luckily we have like a 20-minute like period of just normalness. But outside of that, it's chaotic. But the Greg Cody Show, we're finding our groove there, Dan. I think people should check it out. It's fun. We make fun of. If you like to make fun of Greg, if you like Greg Cody Tuesdays, that's kind of what we do every Monday. Well, we release it Monday, but.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Tomato juice, disgusting. Yes or no?
Yes.
At Le Batard Show.
With some horseradish in there.
What are we doing?
I like a spicy Bloody Mary. Dude, if you
drinking soup, why would I do that?
If you have a Bloody Mary station, are we best friends?
Put it on the poll as well. Are you drinking soup with vodka when you have a Bloody Mary?
Oh God.
At Le Batard Show.
It does give me the heartburn occasionally, but
worth it.
They say your taste buds change every 7 years, and I used to not get it when it came to Bloody Marys. Now I totally.
What's your rule? Like for me, it's 2, and then we move on to something else.
My rule is 2.
Yeah. I used to be a 1. I used to be only. It's a weird sentence. I used to be only be able to do
It
one.
is a great sentence. Go sit in the penalty box.
What? Yeah. But now I can.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Because what I like so much is like, okay, it's a great early morning thing because I get my base. I'm getting nutrients and the poison.
Nice soup base.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go sit in the penalty box.
Jesus. I love a BM.
Let's update the tournament here. Tennessee Stugotz is a 4 seed, and Tennessee in our Looks Like tournament is represented by
Dan Campbell looks like a retired professional wrestler, now running for office and running on a platform promising to body slam Texas.
You still have Rick Barnes over there? Is Rick Barnes the head coach for Tennessee?
I thought it was Shaka Smart.
Is it Shaka Smart?
I have no idea.
It's not Bruce Pearl anymore.
13 Louisiana is represented by
Doc Rivers looked like he's annoyed his wife volunteered him for this.
Did you guys see photos of that Clippers show that they're making? And I assume Lawrence Fishburne is playing Doc Rivers.
He is. He's playing. I thought he was playing Doc Rivers.
So
it's a great choice.
I can't make any assumptions based off the photo that I saw. There could only be one of those actors playing Blake Griffin, and he looks nothing like Blake Griffin.
But do you think Lawrence Fishburne is going to do what Tony just did, which is
he's got to do the voice.
Do you think Lawrence Fishburne is going to spend? This is going to be test the acting range of Lawrence Fishburne because he's got to do that hoarse whisper voice that Doc Rivers always talks in.
That's not Blake's fault.
That would be annoying to have to do all of your dialogue in that voice.
It sucked when I didn't have a voice for like 3 days. I just had to speak like that. And people were like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Oh, I got a thing. I can't talk."
Let's update more of the tournament, please. Memphis, the 8 seed, is represented by
Daniel Snyder looks like the doomed branch manager in a Jason Statham movie who can't remember the combo to the vote.
You know who their head coach is, Dan? Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Rick Barnes is still in Tennessee, by the way.
All right. Well, Rick Barnes, as long as he's anywhere, won't win.
It's Rodney Terry. He's the coach at Texas.
Yeah, they're good.
FAU also good. FAU is they still only lost twice this season, or did they do some more losing toward the end of the season? FAU
the Owls
is represented by
Andrew Luck looks like he switched from coffee to a mushroom-based tea, and it absolutely changed his life for the better.
Foul owl on the prowl. The FAU Owls. Do you have any interest in the Lawrence? I think they're called the Sterling Affairs, the Lawrence Fishburne Netflix special on the racist Clipper scandal.
I didn't, and then I saw a set picture, and it's like I ordered the Showtime show on Wish type of meme because the casting is so terrible. It's awful. None of these people look like they got DeAndre Jordan's tattoos right. That's what I'll say about it. They got the tattoos right for DeAndre Jordan. I think the actor playing him is 5'10". We'll see how that works, but.
Stugotz, why have you been talking today about frozen dinners? What is is your wife out of town? Like, what is happening?
No, she's in town. She's fine. I just love a good frozen dinner. Always have, always will.
This is true about him. Always has.
I always have. And in fact, I will tell you, Dan, I have a very special list of my top 5 frozen dinners.
Do you
like
really?
Yeah.
What is this? Just combinations or brand types? What is it that you're doing here with
a top 5 brought to us by the official partner of the NBA, DraftKings?
Yes, it is a top 5 frozen dinners. I can't explain my love for frozen dinners other than Stouffer's Pizza. That's where it started. And I'm like, if this is that good, I have to try some more. So I've tried a lot of them. And because I've tried a lot of them, I do have a top 5 list.
Well, it's convenience, right? And we have argued before that there is no such thing as bad pizza, but I would assume that Stouffer's frozen pizza might be close to the top of the list on poor pizzas.
No.
Just compared to pizzas you guys have a frozen pizza being as good as a pizza you can get in a legitimate pizzeria.
That frozen pizza,
Depends.
Yeah.
Let me check my list.
Oh, he's got a list for this one too?
I mean, I would say Ilio's is not great. Stouffer's took it to a whole new level, Just me.
French bread Stouffer's pizza kind of guy?
I assume that Stouffer's, I associate word association with them with stuffing. I don't associate them with pizzas necessarily.
I would say the best of the Stouffer's is probably the pepperoni French bread pizza, right?
You think about lasagna? Is that type of thing that Stouffer's used to do?
Stuffing is what I think of. That's not lasagna. Stuffing. Isn't it Stouffer's stuffing? Isn't that what they're associated with? Isn't that their chief?
Like for Thanksgiving?
What is stuffing?
Yeah, no, like Thanksgiving stuffing? No, we're talking about frozen food.
But Stouffer's also, I know what Dan's talking about. They do.
I don't associate Stouffer's with stuffing.
I associate Stouffer's with frozen dinners.
Isn't it stovetop stuffing?
Oh, it's Stovetop. That's the name of it, Stovetop.
Yeah,
but it's not Stouffer's.
It's not Stouffer's, no.
Okay, my bad. I thought it was Stouffer's stovetop pussy.
What? Wow.
Stuffing.
That would change
We don't need a
everything.
dumper.
It's much different.
Must be number 1. Right, number 1.
What are we stuffing?
Number 5, Stugotz. Number 5 on top 5 frozen foods. Just an unfortunate word choice. That's all. Number 5, Stugotz.
The Hungry Man's Mexican Fiesta. Delightful. Had it last week. What did you say, man?
Number 4.
Crazy. Stouffer's Chicken Parm. It's good, right, Roy?
Oh, yeah.
Solid.
Number 3.
Stouffer's Mac and Cheese. I'm never going to be able to move past what happened.
Tomcat.
Number 2.
That would be a pivot for that company.
Number 2.
Stouffer's Pepperoni Pizza. French bread.
So Stouffer's, according to you, has a corner on all frozen foods.
Stouffer's and Hungry Man, yeah.
They don't have a stuffing nor a pussy.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Whatever you said.
They don't have. I'm just totally wrong. That those are two different things.
Hungry Man. Actually, the real number 1 on my list is their turkey dinner. Hungry Man turkey dinner that has a little side of mashed potato, not too much, but enough, and a little side of stuffing as well with fantastic gravy.
So I think
it is the best frozen dinner I've ever had.
So, but Stouffer's was the brand behind Stovetop, but I guess it's in the Kraft family, and they've done a lot of rebranding to now. The point is, it's just Stovetop.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting anything on pussy though.
No. Not in the food line.
I'll keep looking.
Maybe a more detailed search there.
Yeah.
Yeah, really hone in on it.
Yeah. Well, I'm told some people can't find it.
PUSSY. Yes.
No, I'm good.
Thank you, Roy. I appreciate your helpful
Haven't
work.
you caught on to us being subtle this this segment?
I associate just general frozen
We can
dinners.
move on, man. We can just move on.
Yeah,
I associate
I wanna
them
hear where this goes.
with sadness and loneliness. Just the sad,
TV dinner?
the sad, just all
I
of
do
it.
feel
People are on
sad
the
and
go.
lonely when I eat them.
No. Sometimes people are happy because they're so active and they only have time for a quick TV dinner.
Right. Yeah. But I will tell you, even while eating them with my wife right next to me, I feel sad and lonely.
I think what Dan's doing, TV dinners give off Danny DeVito and Matilda.
With the TV tray.
You guys ever seen that movie? It's just a sad, just like.
But now I'm picturing Stugotz doing it, right? I'm picturing Stugotz getting home. I don't imagine his wife being around, but I guess maybe he can be lonely while she's sitting there as well and just doesn't feel like.
Do you do the TV dinner as a meal replacement or a meal supplement? Like this is its own meal. It's not lunchtime.
Little secret meal?
Yeah.
Or is this does this replace dinner?
Yeah, it is my dinner. Yes.
That is kind of sad, especially if your wife is there. You don't ask her, what do you want?
No, she puts one of those into the microwave for me.
Oh, wow. Kids out of the house.
She knows I like them.
Kids out of the house.
Do you
and
understand why I find it sad, though, that tiny corner of mashed potatoes is number one on your list?
So good.
It's something that's been in the fridge for several months.
Yeah. Proportional, though. Like, you can't have too much mashed potatoes. It makes you really, really full.
Yeah.
And so
the portion control on a TV dinner is essential.
it's really good. I love that little corner. It's my favorite
It
corner.
makes up for all the preservatives.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju at LeBatard Show. Is mashed potatoes your favorite corner of the frozen food dinner?
I'll spend all night out in Venice, then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calling, but I'm here to cover the Rams. I'll stay in and avoid chateaus. If I booze, then I'm on Skid Row. Just one drink to begin, not like that's a big sin. Just one beer, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you know we're here to cover the big game. It's a time to be professional and avoid all the temptations the City of Angels may have to offer. Ain't that right, Jess and Kate?
That's right. We're just here to ask quirky questions to grown men wearing their full uniforms without pads in a convention hall.
Oh my God, is that George Clooney?
It is!
Baby, one scotch at the Roxy.
Come on now!
One shot at whiskey, a go-go.
There we go! Now we're drinking to avoid temptations, but a job to do. Professionals with a drink or two. Just a thin bowl of gin, and then I'll be locked in. After gin, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
I mean, we have been locked up for a while.
Yeah, there's no rule against covering the big game and enjoying La La Land.
Wait a minute, it's the Walk of Fame. So much to see instead of the big game. And the traffic is bad on La Brea. So come on, join me in popping tequila.
I'm just here to drink and find Lewis Hamilton. Hey
guys, need a shotgun of beer or what? I don't feel so good. I am genuinely fucked up right now.
To the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super
Let's do another round of shots.
racism, greed, trauma to brain and spine. And yet, I cannot look away. Heroes are dead. Science has their heads. Oh, is there no escape from here? I need to know. It eats my soul. Nothing stops me and F.
Am I supposed to warm up before like a first pitch? Because like Chris asked me if I wanted to catch today.
I was telling Billy I'm willing to have a catch with him after the show.
Yeah.
Get the arm loosened up. Billy, when I heard Billy is throwing out a first pitch, I don't think I've ever been as angry at Billy. And it's
Why?
nothing he did. It's just I've said before I
You're
want to
jealous.
throw out a first pitch
Right.
Yeah,
somewhere.
me too. Yeah.
Somewhere respected.
But you didn't go to FIU, so.
No, I'm not.
I went to FIU.
Can I just go with you and just be like, he's with me. He's doing it too. Come on.
You're doing
You're
this
saying that?
No,
tomorrow
I'm saying,
night?
bring me with you. Let me just do it too.
Yeah.
Be like, this is my stipulation.
Well,
you
it's
want Billy
Billy's
Gill?
moment,
All right,
though.
fine,
I
you're
mean-
right. I'll do another one.
Right.
I'm just saying, overall, I'm jealous of what he's doing, and he does need to warm up because you don't want to embarrass yourself. You got to aim high because it always goes much lower than you think it's going to go, and you have to warm up. You do. You got to throw, at least have a good catch, a nice 10, 15-minute catch session before you play.
But you want to have a catch today to warm up for tomorrow?
I told him I was willing to today
Okay.
have a catch to get his arm ready for tomorrow.
My dad did the same. Like he found out and he asked me if I wanted to play catch to kind of warm up and start. We measure it out, I guess, and then we figure it
sound
out.
like?
Then he was asking like, "Oh, it's like, should we go? Like, is there a mound? Because if I go off the mound, which I think I have to, right? Then it's different than just throwing it on like the flat ground." And then Taylor, who works here now, decided to tell everybody that he's done this before, and then like within seconds showed everybody the video of him doing it. But he was wearing a glove, which I'm not going to do. Like he did a full windup with a glove, which seems like a bit much.
The glove
if you
is
ask me.
it's a little
unnecessary.
Yeah.
Put this on the poll at Le Batard Show. Have you ever had a catch with your dad? And also put on the poll, if you were throwing out an honorary first pitch, do you bring a glove?
No chance. I can't take a glove. As it is, the stack is against me. It's stacked against me. The cards are stacked against me. Whatever it is, I have maybe some issue, tennis elbow, Tommy John necessary on my elbow. So that's kind of my worry about the playing the catch and the warming up is I feel like there's only so many throws left on this elbow before I have to have something addressed, right? And yesterday, diagnosed. It wasn't just in my head. Diagnosed. Scratched cornea.
Oh, that hurts.
So like this eye has
Thank
a
you
little
for
bit
toughing it
something
out.
going on. Yeah.
Do you have a catch or play catch?
I like to have a catch.
You have a catch.
I play catch.
I also play catch. Are you okay? Stugotz has talked for years about how bad the scratched cornea is.
It's been okay so far. I mean, the light bothers me a little bit. I have a bunch of drops I have to put in here like every once in a while. I was honestly expecting it to be a lot worse just based on what Stugotz has described. And my friend over there in the corner, Tony, had it last year when we had like the championship game watch along, and he had like these Ray Charles glasses
had an
on for like 2
infection
months.
on top of it.
And then he was in a wheelchair
infection.
one day and was
I
saying how
not in a
difficult it
wheelchair.
was.
That's not
Oh, that
true.
was the other injury that you had that Patrick Mahomes played through.
I've never been in a wheelchair. What are you talking about?
Did you and Poppy play catch?
Paul Pierce over there.
Did you and Poppy play catch often? It seems like something that is a rite of passage for a father and son.
He coached my little league teams, but I don't remember there being a great deal of affection.
I never had that with my dad. I think my version of having a catch with my dad was like the Nordstrom semi-annual sale.
I feel like you asked me that question just so you could say that.
You did, yeah.
Now, are you prepared for? Because this is the big, like, as important as the actual pitch is after the pitch when the catcher comes out, hands you the ball. It's like a set thing. He's gonna hand you the ball. You shake. You look for a picture. I don't know if you keep the handshake connected for the picture. This is the part
I
that
haven't thought
like there's
about
gonna
this.
be you're gonna
Don't.
be maybe fist pumps. Like you got to prepare yourself how afterwards. You're gonna hand to me with this hand, then we're gonna shake. That's why if you have a glove,
No.
it throws everything off.
Have a
You
few
really
practice
want
tosses.
this. You
I
really
don't.
thought about
I want
this.
nothing else
You
more in
practice
life than
handshakes,
to
too.
throw out a first pitch.
Practice tosses.
I want a George
Don't
Bush
go
it
out there
too.
cold.
Just
I've-
right down the middle. How about George Bush? Can we
I've
get it
al-
up for George Bush?
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that was
one
great.
time.
Crushed it.
That first pitch
Yeah.
after
Okay.
9/11.
We
Yeah.
needed one right down the
Okay.
pipe,
I mean,
and he
he-
delivered.
You're opening a
That's
can
great.
of worms.
That was
George
like
Bush.
that was like a
Okay.
that was like
Yeah,
a
a little
two
movement
seamer.
on
That
it.
was like a
Yeah,
two seamer.
it's
Had
a
like
movement.
it was
Yeah.
like it started out outside and worked back in.
It's a whole can of worms I don't know you want to open.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for George
You did that with a
Bush.
vest.
Yeah, he did it with the bulletproof vest.
Why don't you just throw out the first? Don't put all this stuff in my head because I know you're trying to do this to throw me off so that it goes
should wear a
poorly.
vest.
What are you
gonna
gonna
wear a
wear?
bulletproof
What are you gonna
vest?
do after? How are you gonna do this? What do you shake your hand? You should wear a glove. You should wear. Someone told me across all you should wear a full baseball uniform. It's like no, you guys are just
Oh,
trying
no,
to.
wait.
Yankee.
Are you gonna wear spikes?
We forgot about the pre when you're walking out, the wave. Now from the Dan Le Batard Show, Billy Gill, and you gotta don't step on the
Do
line.
not step on the line.
Don't step on that
over
line,
the line.
man.
You
Over
even
the
do
line,
do
yeah.
like a
Yeah.
hop.
That'd help.
Like
Hop
don't
over
just
the line,
step
man.
over it. Gotta give it like a
Not too much
Take
of a
your hat
hop though,
off
because
and
you
then
could hurt
wait.
yourself.
Yeah. What if I sprain my ankle?
If you step
hurt.
on the baseline, I mean,
I mean, that's big trouble for you.
Be great, Billy, if you were jogging out there, jumped over the line,
Trip
and
over it.
sprained
See,
your
these are
ankle
the people
like
I'm
Kevin
surrounded
Durant.
with. People that want me to get injured.
I'm literally
Go for it.
preparing. I'm
This is
literally
not supportive.
I'm telling
advice
you
here.
all the things you're gonna deal with.
Yep.
Why don't you throw out the first pitch of your daughter's t-ball game?
Yeah, it's T-ball.
Hey Dylan,
Oh,
hey
there
Coach
is no
Dylan,
pitchers.
can I? I mean, I'd love to.
This is a big baseball week for you in general, Billy. You got the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
It's got flavor and ethnicity all over it. They're having more fun than anyone's ever seen over there.
A
with
walk-off
baseball.
mercy rule perfect game yesterday. That wasn't a perfect game because it wasn't 27 ounce, but it was a perfect game. What do you do there? Like I was thinking, what if like the Puerto Rican team is just like, hey, we want to finish this game off. Like we just won't bat. Let's just go and try to get 3 outs. Or does like Team Israel say like, no, we're not going to.
We'll give you 12 outs here.
I
We'll give you
think
12
when you're
straight
going,
outs.
I think when you have a perfect game going and you've reached the mercy rule, you should have the option of keeping the game going because you want to finish off the perfect game.
But you're just kind of really
He's-
rubbing
he's-
it in the face.
But
of the
he's
other
also
team.
saying to do it just 12 straight outs. Just let the other team keep batting, and you're not even going to bat. Just the only goal is to get the next 12 outs.
I hadn't even considered that. They could have done that. Yeah, they only needed 3 outs. It was the bottom of the 8th inning, and then they got a hit that drove in a run. Also, like if I'm the runner on second base, I just stop at third base, right, and just try to like run myself into a double play
the
or
mercy
something.
rule denied them the glory of having the
100%.
perfect game. I didn't realize it was in the 8th inning. I
Combined pitcher, perfect game too, because of the
Kinsler.
rules. Yeah,
Ian Kinsler's the manager for Israel. I saw that.
Really?
Hot seat.
Oh wow.
Billy, we have also
Be our best player.
you and Chris Cody doing the Marlins game on Friday. Where is it that? Where is it? I love when Stugotz is so amused by his own joke that he can't continue.
What happened?
Friday, what you guys are doing for spring training? What are the details that people need to know so that they can hear you and Chris Cody do your annual spring training game for the Marlins?
Well, so we were invited back to do another spring training game. Now, guys, here's the thing: there's 2 games. It's a split squad situation. We're going to be doing the 1 o'clock game against the Cardinals in Jupiter. I think you can listen to it on 940 down here locally. Last year, they also streamed like the video on the internet. So I'll get further details so I can give you more information on that. But there are 2 games. We're doing the first one at 1 o'clock.
The whole game, several innings? How are
No,
you
the whole
doing
game.
this?
No, we're in
Yeah.
for the whole kid and caboodle, as they say.
And if I
Yeah, yeah,
remember,
yeah.
and if I remember last year, it was a lot of fun. By like the 7th, you think it's just real easy, baseball slow. But I remember we were like tired by
Yeah,
like
no.
the 7th or 8th inning. We were like, wow, this is a lot of work.
No, to the point that the announcer, broadcaster Kyle Seeloff in the 7th inning goes, "Huh, you guys really tired out here by the 7th, huh?"
I believe
So-
he hit us with, you guys are really losing some steam here.
Yeah.
That's always good to hear from your play-by-play guy
Yeah.
as an inning starts.
Bit of a smartass, that Kyle Seeloff, if you ask me.
So it's just basically 2.5 hours of Billy and I trying to annoy Kyle Seeloff.
No, I'm going prepared. I'm taking all.
I
of
brought notes
Thursday.
last year.
Yeah,
And
did
Billy
take
did this
notes.
thing where it's like, Chris has a bunch of notes. He should read them. It's like, that's not, these should come out naturally. Like,
I was trying to help.
Oh, there's a guy. A funny thing about this guy. And then I give a note. Billy's like, he has notes. He should read them.
Well, the thing is that it got off to a bad start because Chris did prepare a bunch of notes, and then we got there, and as spring training goes, none of the players were in the lineup that day.
So I was like, who's this guy batting?
Everyone he prepared for wasn't playing.
And then Jose Altuve came up, hit a fly ball left field. I was like, that's staying. It was a home run. Look, we're getting better. It was my first time last year.
First time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's reps, Dan. It's all about reps in the broadcast game. You know what I mean?
Who's that guy is one of the things that the analysis that came out of your mouth was?
I mean, there's a lot of guys.
It's spring training. When you get into the number 87s, 83s, that's the thing that happens. Dan, in spring training, there's sometimes they don't even bother putting the name on the back of the jersey. Like, and it's a fair thing to say, who's that guy?
And we're no one to brag because when you guys did a Major League Baseball game, Stugotz confused plenty of players.
This is an unmitigated disaster. epic failure. But here, there's a guy in the batter's box, Samson. Everybody wants to know when you're going to pay that man his money.
That'd be Gabby Sanchez, of course. Way to paint that picture.
That's
Actually,
Ugla.
Dan
That's
Ugla's up there,
Ugla.
too. Oh, Danny Ugla. Danny Ugla. Well, let me paint the picture, okay?
You don't have to pay Gabby for a while. He'll be here for a little while. Ugla's the one that they've got to pay.
I can't actually believe you two have a radio show. It's very sad. The count to Dan is 1 and 2, first and third now. Nobody outs as the Marlins try to really stick on Chris Carpenter, what could be his worst outing of the year. Hopefully it will be. Dan, we're talking to him. We would very much like to have him long term.
Marlins Radio's worst outing of the year, too.
There's a bloop to the left side there, caught by the shortstop, Skip Schumacher. I hope it's Skip Schumacher. It better be Skip Schumacher.
It's actually Brendan Ryan.
It's baseball's fault. They don't market their players. I mean.
So this is a pretty big at-bat, Stu.
Does that include the shot he took in the face when he was standing in the on base?
Stu, you got to stop talking when there's a hit.
Logan Morrison with a big base hit up the right side, and Martinez slides into first and third. No out here in the bottom of the third inning.
2 players sliding into first.
It's amazing. But I had a couple more reps, man. I would have been there. I mean,
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be on my second rep, so yeah, it's going to be great.
You want to come?
No.
I thought he'd tell you that he would
I
come
knew that was
and
the
then
answer.
not come.
Rudely, I don't want him there.
He would make it so much more accurate it's really strange that Stugotz left there. Even understanding
Like Ron Burgundy after saying, go bleep yourself, San Diego. Good show, everyone. Good. Finger guns for everybody.
Well, he left there saying I'd be good at that with just a couple of more reps.
That's what Geffner said. I mean, Glenn Geffner, he told me that. He did. Few more reps, a couple of games away, he said, from being a regular play-by-play guy.
You've done it now.
He did say it.
I think after we did ours last year with Kyle Seeloff got some sort of text from Glenn Geffner of like, that existed today. Yeah, like, kind of like, just like the backhanded, like, you guys did a broadcast. It was something, like, I don't forget what the tweet was. It was something passive-aggressive. I don't think he enjoyed it.
I think he said we got through it. It was like, I think it was one of, if not the last, spring training broadcasts of the season. And he's like, well, we all survived that. Head into the regular season now.
That existed today.
We're just living. Look, we're going to crush it. We're going to crush it. Tune in, 9:40.
Yes, that's the right channel.
That sounds like a time you were giving.
7 past the hour.
7 in front of the hour.
If you want something worse than just spring training on the radio, the comedy stylings
How dare
of
you?
Billy and Chris over the last 90 seconds give you an indication of their timing.
Well, he was going to make a joke and then realized, let me not make that joke.
Didn't make the joke, and we were on air waiting for the joke to be made, and instead he just sort of bailed and then clipped the
It's
microphone.
okay. We can edit this out.
At least he
Oh,
didn't
we're
say-
live today?
At least he didn't say pussy.
Yeah.
I'll spend all night out in Venice, then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calling, but I'm here to cover the Rams. I'll stay in and avoid chateaus. If I booze, then I'm on Skid Row. Just one drink to begin, not like that's a big sin. Just one beer, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you know we're here to cover the big game. It's a time to be professional and avoid all the temptations the City of Angels may have to offer. Ain't that right, Jess and Kate?
That's right. We're just here to ask quirky questions to grown men wearing their full uniforms without pads in a convention hall.
Oh my God, is that George Clooney?
It is!
Baby one scotch at the Roxy.
Come on now!
One shot at whiskey a go-go.
There we go! Now we're drinking to avoid temptations, but a job to do. Professionals with a drink or two. Just a thimble of gin, and then I'll be locked in. After gin, then we're gonna go to the
Wait a minute, it's the walk of fame. So much to see instead of the big game. And the traffic is bad on La Brea. So come on, join me in popping tequila.
I'm just here to drink and find Lewis Hamilton. Hey
guys, you gonna shotgun a beer or what? I don't feel so good. I am genuinely fucked up right now.
Showtime, buddy!
Racism, greed, trauma to brain and spine. And yet, I cannot look away. Heroes are dead. Science has their heads. Oh, is there no escape from here? I need to know. It eats my soul. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's human cockfighting. CTE prayer circles. They blackballed the black baller. They tried to end racism by stenciling it in the end zone. Billionaire boys using millionaires as toys. It's all immoral, all unethical. Ooh, the witching hour. Nothing stops the NFL. Heaven or hell, I can't tell. It's Urban and Snyder and Flores and Gruden, but Kyler, but Kelsey, but Cooper, but Canton. It's cheating and tanking and bounties and banking, but parlays, but face paint, but promo, but weddings.
I'll spend all night out in Venice, then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calling, but I'm here to cover the Rams. I'll stay in and avoid chateaus. If I booze, then I'm on Skid Row. Just one drink to begin, not like that.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Is Jim Cramer the Stugotz of the business world? He recommended Silicon Valley Bank investments last month.
Oof.
The CEO of Silicon Valley Bank, incidentally, reportedly, Gary Becker, sold $3.6 million in shares the day before the bank collapsed.
Funny how that always works out, huh?
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys about some reporting that the Philadelphia Inquirer did. And you've heard me troubled in the past about how journalism seems to be dying. Local journalism really doesn't have the resources to keep up with the corruption. We know that so much of politics has been bought. I don't understand how you see what's been happening apocalyptically around the world with climate change, and Biden allows the kind of drilling that's being allowed in Alaska right now, where the biggest story of all of our lifetimes, which is that the world seems to be suffering, the earth seems to be suffering from apocalyptic changes that are made because we've all been bought by oil in government and leadership. And journalists don't have the resources to keep up with what oil is buying. In the small world of sports, the Philadelphia Inquirer did some reporting that I had not considered and must be unspeakably painful to the people affected by this. But Tug McGraw, John Vukovich, Ken Brett, Dan Quisenberry, Darren Dalton, David West, they all died from an incredibly rare form of brain cancer that it seems is related to the forever chemicals in the AstroTurf that they played on, that they were basically baking on a field that they were playing 81 games on, that they did not know that the chemicals, the forever chemicals in the fake turf, ended up costing them their lives, and God knows how bad their lives were at the end with whatever it is that the forever chemicals do to your brain chemistry that don't make life some sort of great pleasure.
I'm fascinated by this because E60 did a really heartbreaking piece on how the lives of youth soccer have been affected by this, especially it's disproportionate when you get into the women's game. Back then, it stands to reason maybe not enough people knew the risk. What's heartbreaking right now is you go to an artificial turf soccer pitch right now, a lot of them still aren't cornstalk. Most of them have those grounded up tire bits that we know are carcinogenic and have led to really heartbreaking examples. I, for one, am locked in on it because every week, twice a week, I play pickup soccer on those artificial turfs. And I've had moments like I've seen in that outside the lines or that E60 where it gets stuck in my eye and I worry about it. It is a deep concern of mine. This stuff is not, we're not removed from what's going on right now. There are underserved parts of the community that don't have these updated, safer artificial fields. And we should really examine why the women are more susceptible to this. I think it's because they're often playing on worse fields for several circumstances. This is going on right now. And I really hope that this story, as heartbreaking as it is with the Phillies, opens people's eyes to what's going on, because we're not far removed from that. This isn't an AstroTurf thing from a bygone era. This is going on right now.
You guys talking about it is opening up my eyes, because I was honestly never aware. I was not aware of this story and the effects. I knew Darren Dalton's story. I didn't know the rest, and that's frightening. And now I'm thinking back to all the fields my daughter has played on over the years, and so it's going to be interesting.
Particularly bad for keepers because they're diving around on this stuff.
But what's the turf you're looking for? What's the
cornstalk is a safer alternative. What you want is real grass. But I had to have a conversation with my wife about youth soccer.
Sure.
My daughter right now is presently playing on one of those very same fields. It's not too hot right now. When it gets a little warmer and more of that stuff is in the air, it's a concern of mine that I have. And I certainly don't want her to play keeper on these artificial turfs, because that affects women disproportionately, the keepers that are diving around on this stuff. And I would not want my daughter to be playing keeper on this type of surface and rolling around in it. I stop her every time. She digs her hand. She's a 3-year-old, so she wants to dig her hand through the turf and pick up those little ground up black bits of tire. I always I scold her. No, don't do that. It's very concerning. It's one of those things that I don't think we know nearly enough about, and I hope that people are there might be people learning about this right now. Really examine it. And there's a lot of good information out there on the internet to help you make an informed choice.
Something else, Stugotz, a different kind of chemical that I wanted to talk about because I was just curious who has to say this thing in order to make it a more credible kind of scandal. Chael Sonnen, admitted bad guy, villainous, public persona who doesn't mind being a wrestling heel and is now removed from mixed martial arts from performing, but still does announcing and still has a giant following because he's got a big mouth. Chael Sonnen says flatly, some might say irresponsibly, hey, me and LeBron have the same drug guy. And it hasn't caught. And I'm wondering who has to say it in order for that to be the kind of scandal that you might consider it, given that we don't allow the biggest guys or women in sports to be moving through the pharmacy quietly.
It was LeBron and Tiger, correct?
Well, all I saw was that he said it of LeBron. He said we have the same drug guy, and he is claiming pretty flatly that LeBron, I think we've gotten numb to all this stuff. I think that we assume that the Tom Bradys and the LeBron Jameses of the world are using scientific advancements in order to play longer than anyone has seen people play successfully in sports.
He shared this with Andrew Schultz on the Flagrant podcast.
Right. And it was Tiger as well, I believe. I'm numb to it. I'm holding my hand up because I'm one of those people, Dan, where I've just assumed, for better or for worse, like it doesn't matter to me. I understand why they take it. There's a part of me that is thankful that they're taking it because I get to see them play longer than I would normally get to see some of the greatest athletes of all time play their sport. It's their decision. And I've operated under the assumption for many years that, of course, LeBron is taking something. So Chael Sonnen's enough for me.
But you would agree, though, right, that if this was proven, it would be a scandal of the highest order, would it not? You may not react to it, but you don't think it would be something? Because nobody gets to skate on this stuff when it's proven.
I guess those two names would make it a massive scandal, yeah.
So I'm asking you, I guess, who has to say it? If not Chael Sonnen, who's viewed as a bit of a professional wrestler, who has to say it for it to become the scandal I imagine it would become as an accusation? Because if it were someone in his sport, if it was a peer, if Kevin Durant said this about LeBron,
that would make it a scandal. Yep.
But where is I'm asking you, like, what's the mid-region? Because it's not
That's mutually assured destruction. Oh, yeah, we both are doing it.
But no one is picking up this story in a way that's meaningful, and I'm assuming it's because it's Chael Sonnen. Because there are people.
I would not assume that. No, because Jose Canseco was a guy who said it. He wasn't terribly credible.
I'm not assuming that it's not credible. I'm saying
I think we're numb to it.
Why hasn't it morphed into something bigger? I don't think it's because we're numb to it.
It just did. Top 3 sports podcasts on the planet, recklessly.
What do you mean recklessly? Chael Sonnen said
it's recklessly. Oh, Chael Sonnen said it.
What do you mean it's reckless because Chael Sonnen said it on a comedian's podcast?
Come on.
But and I asked this honestly, not knowing the answer. How often do players in the NBA get suspended for performance-enhancing drugs?
Not very.
So, that's what it's going to take for it to be a thing, someone to fail a test and get suspended and caught. And if it doesn't happen, then it's just hearsay.
Agreed. I'm talking about what gets picked up, though, as a larger mainstream source.
Would you ask LeBron James at an availability about this?
Somebody should.
Would you?
No one will.
Would you?
Sure.
No, you wouldn't.
What do you mean? Okay, thank you for asking me my opinion.